Bonsoir et bienvenue à la cérémonie d'ouverture de la 27e session du programme d'études spatiales de l'Université internationale de l'espace. Good evening and welcome to the opening ceremony of the 27th session of the Space Studies program of the International Space University. Je m'appelle David Kendall, je suis le directeur de la session et j'ai le privilège et l'honneur d'être votre maître de cérémonie ce soir. My name is David Kendall, the director of SSP14, and I have the pleasure and honor to be your master of ceremonies this evening. As is the tradition for the opening of the Space Studies program, or SSP for short, let us start by warmly welcoming the participants who will take part in this year's program. They will enter from the back of the assembly hall under the flag of their native countries. I will ask them to enter in alphabetical order, starting with Algeria, Algérie. Australia, Australie. Austria, Autriche. Bangladesh. Belgium, Belgique. Canada. Bulgarie. Alors maintenant, le Canada. China, Chine. Croatia, Croatie. La France. Germany, Allemagne. Iceland, Islande. India, and Iran, Iran. Israel, Israel. Italy. The Netherlands. Norway, Norvège. Peru, Peru. Poland, Pologne. Spain, Espagne. Sweden, Sweden. United Kingdom, Royaume-Uni. The United States of America, États-Unis. Chris and Roy on the piano, and to the participants. So if you were counting, and I'm sure you all were, the participants this year are currently number 118 from 29 countries, and we expect a few more to arrive in the next few days. That should bring us up to about 125 participants from 31 countries. We're missing Ghana and Nigeria, who will be arriving later this week. Now, as you entered the building and took your seats this evening, I am sure that you were able to appreciate the excellence of the venue for this evening's ceremony. We are extremely fortunate to be holding this event in this magnificent building by virtue of the generosity of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO. Thus, our first speaker this evening, representing ICAO, is Nancy Graham, the director of the ICAO Air Navigation Bureau. Matching perfectly ISU's credo of international, intercultural, and interdisciplinary excellence, Nancy brings extensive international experience to ICAO and is a strong believer in partnerships with aviation's international organizations, working tirelessly to foster joint activities to improve aviation safety and efficiency. Please join me in welcoming Nancy Graham.
Bienvenue. Bonsoir. Look at all those bright, shiny faces. Welcome to the home of aviation. It's lovely to have you here. But I have to tell you straight away that two of my favorite passions are the next generation of aviation professionals, you look suspiciously like them, and commercial space, a bit of a new venture for ICAO. So I might just be poaching a few of these before they leave the door, just so you know. It's lovely to have you here, and it's a really nice energy. It was quite a pleasure to watch you come in and bring your flags and see the excitement on your face. The home of aviation since 1944, ICAO is quite an organization. More than 100,000 flights every day move around the globe in a very safe manner, largely due to the foundation of safety that's been established in this very important organization. We have 191 member states who collaborate here on a variety of difficult issues. In fact, I was just sharing earlier that in the last 2 weeks we've had a very large symposia here on what we call loss of control events, or that big category of events when we do have a rare accident, that we look at the issues that bring us to that point. And unfortunately, a series of activities related to the Malaysian accident. It would be very difficult to start this without having that discussion, where we've agreed as a community to very quickly put into place global tracking around the world. So this is the place where we make all of our important decisions in this particular venue. This is our assembly hall, and particularly nice to have you here representing commercial space. Just so you know, ICAO is not oblivious to commercial space. We see it as an enormous burgeoning industry, that along with remotely piloted aircraft systems. Some people call them UAVs, some people call them drones. We don't like that word here. And our focus is really in the commercial space arena in assisting you as a community to introduce commercial space into the routine study group, in fact, this spring, to begin to learn on the aviation side what your needs are as a community and how we can support your burgeoning industry, and how by the time I retire, I can, get my ticket into space. I'm saving every penny I have, so I'm going to be one of those commercial space travelers. So I won't take up any more of your important time for your festivities this evening, just to say welcome to our dignitaries, welcome to you, and congratulations on this really important milestone in your careers. And oh, by the way, if you want to come to aviation, see me after, huh? Okay, welcome.
Many thanks, Nancy, for your welcome, and again, On behalf of the ISU and the local organizing committee, let me say how pleased we are to be here this evening. Now, this will be one of the largest SSP classes in recent times, a testimony, I believe, to the draw of Montreal as a venue of choice for an international program such as the SSP. We are very fortunate to have the City of Montreal as a sponsor, and representing the city, we have with us this evening Mr. Lionel Perez, a member of the City of Montreal's Executive Committee. Mr. Perez's background is in law and business, both areas that he successfully managed before making the jump to politics. Since then, he has taken on some of the most challenging portfolios within the municipal government and is helping to raise the profile of the city and strengthen Montreal's position as one of the world's great cities. Please join me in welcoming Lionel Perez.
What an introduction, thank you. Merci. Donc, Monsieur Dave Kendall, Director of the 2014 Space Program, Monsieur Pierre Dumouchel, Directeur Général de l'ETS, Monsieur Michel Patry, Directeur de l'HEC, dear members of the consular, please, dear dignitaries, dear professors and dear participants, distinguished guests. C'est vraiment un plaisir de pouvoir vous accueillir et vous souhaiter la bienvenue à Montréal au nom du maire de Montréal, M. Denis Coderre. It's truly an honor to be able to wish you welcome to Montreal, what we call our favorite city, our hometown, to this incredible event. And as was mentioned by Nancy, it was truly inspiring to see all the participants come in and to see the excitement that you're going to be sharing for the next several weeks here, to be able to share in your knowledge, in your breadth of knowledge, to be able to explore new avenues, to be able to network, and to really demonstrate what this is all about and what you can hold for the future. As you know, Montreal likes to pride itself as a city with a European flair and North American domain. As you may have heard, we recently had the F1 Grand Prix this weekend. That again shows our international appeal. If you missed it, no problem. We just renewed it for 10 years, so you'll be able to come here for the next 10 years if you like. In 2011, Montreal, the city of Montreal proudly supported the candidacy presented by l'ETS and l'HEC regarding to hold this prestigious program, this SSP. And we were so pleased to learn that the International Space University had chosen Montreal for the 2014 program. It really strengthens Montreal, its status as one of the world's leading cities in the field of aerospace. In fact, Montreal is a driving force for Canadian aerospace. We have over 40,000 jobs in the greater Montreal area. We have over 250 firms from R&D, from software, from manufacturing. We're responsible for 50% of all Canadian jobs in this industry. 70% of the amount of money of R&D is spent here. Montreal is recognized as one of the leading centers after Toulouse and Seattle in aeronautics. We have ICAO, of course. We have also IATA, and McGill University has this Institute for Air and Space Law. So, my question to Dave when I walked in is, this is your 27th edition. What took you so long to get to Montreal? But we're very happy to be able to host it. And I think it's very important, it's très important, to acknowledge the work done by l'ETS and l'HEC in their hard work and devotion in trying to get Montreal to host this wonderful program. So on behalf of the City of Montreal and all the participants, I want to thank specifically Monsieur Dumouchel and Monsieur Patry for all their hard work, their devotion, and uncompromising dedication in getting SSP to Montreal this year. Thank you very much. While you're here, you're going to have an opportunity to explore Montreal. We like to call ourselves, a bit of a party town. We have tremendous nightlife, tremendous restaurants, and it's really going to be an opportunity for you to share in all the festivals that we have here. So, our message is take advantage. Get to learn among one another. You have an opportunity to learn about Montreal, to learn about our diversity, to learn about our history, and to have fun in an incredible venue. So again,
Merci, Monsieur Perez, for those warm words of welcome. As director, I must remind you to turn up at 8:30 every morning for the first lecture of the day. So yes, enjoy the city, but there's some work to do here. And again, thanks very much for the City of Montreal's support for the program this summer. Now, as mentioned by Monsieur Perez, as well as being a vibrant, multicultural, international city with a remarkable creative spirit, Montreal is known for its academic excellence and boasts some of the best universities that one can find anywhere in the world. It is a quietly kept secret that Montreal has more students per population than anywhere in North America except Boston, and I think that we are gaining on that illustrious city with respect to that statistic. And as mentioned by Monsieur Perez, it is our very good fortune this year to be hosted by two outstanding local academic institutions, an engineering school and, for the first time in ISU's history, a business school. L'École de Technologie Supérieure, or ETS, brings its renowned program in engineering in support of the program, while HEC Montréal is recognized to be one of the world's top business schools. We are privileged to have with us this evening the Director General of ETS, Monsieur Pierre Dumouchel, and the Director of HEC Montréal, Monsieur Michel Patry. As background, both of these gentlemen have had illustrious careers in academia before being selected to lead their respective institutions. Michel Patry is an expert in the economics of organizations and regulation, and Pierre Dumouchel in speech recognition technologies. However, more recently, they have both assumed ever more demanding roles in leading their respective organizations through the current challenges faced by all institutions of higher learning today. So please join me in welcoming Messieurs Patry et Dumouchel to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Kendall. Messieurs les consuls, dignitaires, partenaires et distingués invités, and most importantly, participants to the 2014 Space Studies Program. Monsieur Patry, directeur de HEC Montréal, et moi-même, directeur général de l'ETS, vous souhaitons la plus cordiale bienvenue à Montréal, ainsi que dans nos deux établissements universitaires. Dr. Patry and I are truly honored to welcome you in this magnificent hall, thanks to ICAO. I must admit that submitting a joint application to host the 2014 edition of the Space Studies program of the International Space University was a daring move. This is a first for us, and it makes us very proud. The association between two specialized Quebec schools, one in management at HEC Montréal and the other one in engineering at ETS, offers access to a wide array of skills and expertise. ETS is highly renowned for its interaction with industry through its mandatory co-op education system, applied research, technology transfer, and know-how in entrepreneurship and innovation. Each year, ETS places more than 3,000 interns in 800 companies and undertake collaborative research with about 200 companies, accounting for 75% of its total research funding with companies. 1 out of 4 engineers in Quebec is a graduate of ETS, which makes us the biggest engineering school in Quebec. We have more than 7,600 students, including 2,000 graduate-level students. The association between HEC Montréal and ETS clearly illustrates a trend we are bound to see more of in the future. That is, the collaboration between leading institutions of higher education in conjunction with organizations and businesses. Montreal is one of the world's foremost aerospace hubs. As a matter of fact, Montreal is the world's third largest aerospace cluster after Seattle and Toulouse. Greater Montreal is a world-class industry hub featuring the likes of Bombardier, Pratt & Whitney, Bell Helicopter Textron, CAE, and more than 200 other specialized companies in this field. This long tradition of excellence in the aeronautics sector has a direct impact of its twin sector space. Montreal is home of the Canadian Space Agency and to one of the major branches of the biggest space company in Canada, McDonnell Detwiller and Associates, known as MDA. Overall, the aerospace sector consists of over 40,000 jobs in 235 companies and is grouped into a cluster called Aero Montreal. It is also the home of the International Civil Aviation Organization, the International Air Transport Association, the Société Internationale de Télécommunications Aéronautiques, and Compass Sarsat. Over the years, the Montreal Aerospace Cluster and the education sector have worked together to develop made-to-measure programs to target the industry's real needs, maintaining an outstanding innovation capacity. ETS is a significant academic member of this cluster. The school core strengths in aerospace focus on aerodynamics, avionics, manufacturing, and in-service performance. ETS created Aero ETS, an academic and research cluster dedicated to aerospace engineering consisting of 54 professors, 470 undergraduate interns, 200 graduate students, and 70 industrial partners. This cluster is involved in more than 90 research projects and 9 industrial research chairs. Thanks and have a good stay in Montreal. Mr. Patry.
Bonsoir et à mon tour de vous souhaiter la bienvenue à Montréal. To begin, let me say I feel a bit like a sheep in wolf's clothing. Here I am, a poor economist surrounded by scientists and engineers. But we're extremely proud at HEC Montréal to join with ETS in developing this program. HEC Montréal is the oldest business school in Canada, and we're very excited by the idea that this is the first time that a business school is involved in the International Space University. This certainly says something about innovation and excellence at HEC Montréal. Our tradition of excellence can be seen in our huge variety of programs, which are taught in several languages. Many of our programs are taught in French, English, and Spanish. We have over 50 research chairs and centers, nearly 13,000 students, and 72,000 alumni. So during your stay with us, you will see how the school has developed a unique expertise in measuring the economic and social impact of space, analyzing the management of space projects, and managing innovation, creativity, and knowledge. In addition, through our partnerships with ETS, we've established close cooperation in the field of space-related activities and in other research areas. So by providing both the technical expertise and facilities of an engineering school and the managerial know-how and the facilities of a leading business school, our partnership will complement the International Space University's rich curriculum, allowing all participants to enjoy a unique and, I hope, very fulfilling summer. By organizing ISU 2014, HEC Montréal and l'École de Technologie Supérieure are positioning themselves as leaders in aeronautics and aerospace, and consequently adding value to the companies working in the industry and in the industry as a whole around the world. So in closing, Mr. Dumouchel and I wish to congratulate and thank the members of the organizing committee for their hard work. In particular, I'd like to point out the work of Lucie Stojak, who is Director of the Summer School on Management of Creativity at HEC Montréal, and Louis Côté, who is Director of the Office of International Coordination of ETS. You also certainly understand that organizing such an activity wouldn't be possible without the help of our sponsors, so let me very quickly thank them. I want to specifically thank United Technologies Corporation, MDA, the Quebec government, Investissement Québec, and Aéroport de Montréal for their financial support. We hope you participants will take advantage of all the opportunities this program has to offer, and we wish you a wonderful time in Montreal. We have a summer in Montreal. It's not very long, but this is it, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. La ville de Montréal est réputée pour ses festivals, sa joie de vivre, so I hope you enjoy it. Again, thank you very much for being here in Montreal, for joining us, and have a great summer. Thanks.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Pierre Dumouchel, pour les mots. On behalf of the ISU, again, I would like to reiterate how fortunate we feel to have the support of you and your teams in the delivery of this program. We strongly believe that this partnership has been the vital element that has allowed us to collectively accomplish our goals, and we continue to be energized by the continued excellence of your staff and facilities and the level to which both organizations have gone to ensure a successful session. Merci encore. Now, it has been noted by Monsieur Patry that the local organizing committee has worked effectively under the leadership of Louis Côté of ETS and Lucie Stoyak of HEC Montréal to put together an outstanding program for the participants this summer, and I would like to very much echo this sentiment. However, I would at this time also like to recognize the other members of the local organizing committee who have worked so hard to ensure success, and I will name them from HEC Montréal, Federico Passin, Jean Elsliger, Mark Tulin, Real Jacob and Kathleen Grant, and from ETS, Marjolaine Adam, Eric Doré, André Gamache, and Sébastien Langevin. Thank you, each of you, so much for all of the work you've put into providing what we have this summer. Trustees of the International Space University, the highest governance body of the institution. Dr. Christian Sallaberger, a Canadian and alumnus of the first SSP held way back in 1988 in MIT, personifies one of the main drivers for the creation of the ISU, to train the future leaders of the emerging global space community. Chris has extensive experience in the public, private, and academic sectors, most notably in senior positions with both the Canadian Space Agency and MDA Corporation. He has recently started a new Canadian space company and continues to help guide the ISU through his many roles with the university. So please welcome Chris Sallaberger.
Thank you, David, for that kind introduction. While I'm saying thank you, I'd like to thank two other groups, or add my thanks to those that have already been expressed to two other groups. First, the local hosts that we have here. Merci, ETS, HEC Montréal, la communauté locale ici pour votre accueil. Nous sommes très heureux d'être ici à Montréal avec vous. Merci beaucoup. We're very happy to be here in this great city of Montreal. The second group I think that we need to thank is the ISU staff and faculty, both here in Montreal and in Strasbourg, who, under the leadership of the president, Walter Peters, who's with us here in the front row, have been working ever so hard these past months to prepare an outstanding academic program, an awesome program that you'll be able to enjoy this summer. So thank you all, the staff and faculty of ISU as well. So as David mentioned, I am a Canadian, so it's with a certain level of happiness and I would say even pride that I'm observing this launch here of the 2014 Space Studies program in Montreal, the great city of Montreal. And as you've heard from Monsieur Perez, the ISU summer program has not been held before in Montreal, but I can assure you that the links of ISU with this city run very deep. Several past program directors of ISU have come from Montreal, and several of our current faculty call Montreal home. And you'll have the opportunity to see some of those as they give some of the lectures this summer. We also have approximately 100 ISU graduates that work in the greater Montreal area, and I've seen a few of them here already with us tonight. In fact, this isn't the first time ISU is in Montreal. 24 years ago, ISU held a program, this Space Studies program in Toronto in Canada, and we brought the entire class here to Montreal for a few days to get some lectures from local experts here, and that was a part of the academic program there. So it's a bit of a return to Montreal for us, a happy one. So I could say that Montreal certainly has a special spot in the heart for many of us members of the international family of ISU, and I'm sure that it'll earn a similar spot in the hearts of those of you among the students and staff and faculty that will get to spend some or all of the next 2 months here in this wonderful city. So then let me address specifically the students this year, the class of 2014, the SSP class of 2014. So first of all, congratulations on being here. The selection process and the admission process at ISU is quite stringent, and if you're here, congratulations are definitely in order. You should be proud for that. You're probably excited, eager for the summer to begin. I know this feeling. As David has mentioned, over a quarter of a century ago, I was sitting in your seat, ready for the summer session to begin at a similar kind of opening ceremonies to this one. I can assure you that you're about to embark on a fantastic journey, learning about space from all aspects, the technical aspects, the business aspects of space, the policy aspects, even sociological aspects, but also learning about space's role in the global world today, as well as learning a bit about each other. And it's this last point that I want to emphasize with you. Your fellow participants in this program come from 31 countries, 31, 32 countries, something like that, from around the globe. Like you, they've been selected because of their past great academic achievements, their interest and commitment to space activities, and importantly also their leadership potential within the global space community. You'll be spending a lot of time together, certainly sitting side by side during lectures, taking part in workshops and design activities together, but also eating together, relaxing together, even celebrating together, perhaps even enjoying the wonderful nightlife of Montreal once in a while. Take advantage of this. Take advantage to become close friends. You know, when we ask our alumni a year after they graduate, what was the best part of that SSP program? What brought you the most benefit for you personally, for your career? a year after the program, we often hear answers like the great lectures that were given, the academic content, I learned so much about space. But when we ask that question 5 years later, 10 years later, invariably the answer is the real value of that program was that international network that I was able to establish there, the friendships that I was able to establish with people around the world in space. And so this is something I encourage you to take advantage of. Make the extra effort to establish those friendships with your classmates, especially those who might come from a different cultural background, a different linguistic background. You'll find that very, very valuable. As I was mentioning earlier before we came in here, if you work long enough in the space world, space is a relatively small community internationally. If you work your entire career in space, by the end of your career, you will have an international network of people in the space world that you know and that you work with around the world. But what you have here is an opportunity to establish those relationships, those connections, very early on in your career, and you'll find it of tremendous benefit for you. So let me again offer you congratulations on having been selected to participate in this year's SSP program. Take advantage of this summer to learn about all those different aspects of space, take advantage of the opportunity to dream the big dreams, and with your colleagues to formulate the plans on how to make some of those dreams a reality. I know you'll be changing the space world in the years to come. So, congratulations. Thank you.
Nancy and Lionel have to rush off to more meetings this evening. They live very busy lives, but thank you both for joining us today. It's a great pleasure to meet both of you. Thank you, Chris, for those inspiring words to this year's cohort of SSP participants. And while I am mentioning ISU senior people, I would like to recognize again the ISU President, Walter Peters, who is sitting in the front here, ISU Dean Angie Buckley, who is to my left, and particularly my co-director, Dr. John Connolly. Where's John here? John is to my left as well, from NASA, who will assume the duties of the SSP Director at the end of this session. And without the untiring leadership of these three individuals, working with a dedicated and excellent ISU staff, this session would probably not have happened, or if it did take place, it would have been a shadow of the program that we're on the cusp of delivering. So please join me in thanking Walter Peters, Angie Buckley, and John Connolly. Another major reason for the success of this year's program is the support provided by the Canadian Space Agency that will open its doors to the participants throughout the summer, as well as providing its experts to support many aspects of the academic program. General retired Walter Natynczyk, my boss, is one of the most inspiring leaders that I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. General Natynczyk, as many of you know, is a multi-decorated ex-chief of the Canadian Defence Staff who has served with distinction in many of the most challenging theatres of conflict around the globe. In August of 2013, he was appointed as the President of the Canadian Space Agency and has guided the agency and the Canadian space program through a rapid period of transition, delivering a new Canadian space policy, a new investment plan, and a soon-to-be-delivered space strategy. Please join me in welcoming General Natynczyk to the podium.
Well, good evening, everybody. Are you still awake? Are you still awake? It's a lot of speech, isn't it? Well, bienvenue à tous. Bienvenue ici au Canada. Québec et dans la ville de Montréal. Je suis très content d'être ici avec vous, avec toutes les organisations qui donnent beaucoup de leadership et to be here and to sponsor you in this extraordinary city. You know, a lot has already been said here tonight, so I just want to leave you with a few key points, because for a general to speak in under 5 minutes is like, or under 30 minutes actually, pretty much impossible. So I'm just going to try to capture a few messages to you. You're here because you're special. Okay? I want you to know that. You're here because you're special. Every one of you has achieved extraordinary things in your countries. Whether it was academics, whether it was a contribution to your research or institute, or to your companies, or the trust that your countries have in you. But you're in this room because you're a future space leader. You have to take this opportunity now because it's extraordinary. Now I know that David Kendall and John Connolly will be taskmasters. You're already told to be in the classroom by 8:30 every morning. You're already told that, right? But guess what? One of the biggest things they're going to take away is just what Chris said a few moments ago. It's to get to know everyone around you. Those people to your left and right, front and rear, that's your future. Space needs bold visionaries. Space needs people who can take a risk. Space needs people who have courage. But space needs folks who have strong relationships. Relationships built upon trust and confidence. And it's the trust and confidence of all those around you. And that opportunity is right now. Now, that trust and confidence, I just want to break it to all the professors in the back and the front, but it doesn't happen in the classroom. And that comment about joie de vivre, my only comment is pace yourself. Pace yourself. This city has extraordinary cultural attractions. And I'm not sure what's in your mind, but I'm thinking about museums and churches. So pace yourself. But the reality is that we need you to step up. We know that each one of you has your own comfort zone. That's why you're here. We want you to broaden your horizons. We want you to look to the extraordinary leadership examples you have around you. You know, your instructors, and I tell you, for all the instructors in the ISU, just stand up. All of them just stand up. All of you stand up. If you're instructing in this course, stand up. That's what right looks like. It's those individuals. I just ask you to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, look to your examples, have a great summer. And again, thanks to HEC, thanks to ETS. Bon été. Merci.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Walter, for your stimulating comments, as always. And we look very much forward as a group here, as a class, to welcoming you back to the session in early July to spend an evening with the participants who I know are going to learn a good deal about leadership and the specific challenges relating to running a space agency. And I know that every seat will be filled. There's two other people I would like just to mention before, as we get to the end of this opening ceremony. Next year, ISU is very, very fortunate to be hosted by Ohio University, not that far south of here, well, a few hours, I guess. And we have with us here today Dr. Dennis Irwin, the Dean of the Russ College of Engineering Technology, who will be our host along with Professor L.J. Edmonds, the Vice Provost of Global Affairs. So I want to thank both of you for being here tonight and for your generosity towards the ISU next year. So thank you. We now finish the evening with a very special welcome. It is a tradition to include a welcome from one of the founders of ISU. And as probably all of you know, ISU is the brainchild of three remarkable people: Todd Hawley, Peter Diamandis, and Bob Richards. Tragically, we lost Todd in 1995 at the age of 34. Just as ISU was getting into its stride as an institution. And in the opinion of many, including myself, if Todd had lived, he would have accomplished some extraordinary things through his passion, commitment, vision, and drive, just as General Natynczyk mentioned. Fortunately for us, both Peter and Bob are amongst us, although, unfortunately, by virtue of their multiple commitments, neither could be with us today. Bob Richards, in fact, was planning to be here in person until just 2 days ago, when a critical issue arose that needed his personal attention, and he had to withdraw at the last moment. He personally is very sad about that, but he wishes the class every success and has committed to join us at the closing ceremony on August the 8th. I'd like now to bring on the welcome from the other founder, Peter Diamandis, a remarkable man who has founded many companies, the X Prize Foundation for one, Space Ventures, etc. So please welcome the recorded welcome from Peter Diamandis.
Welcome ISU SSP class of 2014. My name is Peter Diamandis. I have the true honor and pleasure of being one of the ISU co-founders. Some 20 plus years ago, it's so hard to imagine how fast time has flown. You know, when we started ISU back in 1987, and then the first summer session class in 1988, Todd Hawley, Bob Richards, and I had the vision that, in fact, over time, it would be you and all of us who would be creating the future of humanity in space. You know, these next few decades are going to be the time, millions of years from now, that people look back, whatever we may have become as in human future history, we'll look back at these next few decades as a moment in time when the human race moved irreversibly off the planet to the stars. So it's one of the most extraordinary and exciting times ever to be alive. When we founded ISU, our mission was to bring together the like-minded doers and thinkers and risk-takers from around the world who shared that common vision and passion, and to give them the knowledge of the technologies that were in their hands right now to help them guide and inspire humanity to go off planet. And along those lines, I cannot think of a better time ever to be an entrepreneur, to be a researcher, to be a scientist in the space arena. If you stop and you think about what's going on today that heralds an epic period for our future in space, first of all, I'm very proud to be affiliated with a number of them. We've got the Google Lunar X Prize, a $30 million private race to the lunar surface, right? Google's put up $30 million, NASA's matched it with $30 million. We have had as many as 26 teams around the world who have been building spacecraft to land privately on the moon. You know, bringing the cost of going to the moon down by a factor of at least 50-fold. Making it possible for all of us, universities, individuals, graduate students, to have access to exploration on the moon. At the same time that that's going on, I'm very proud of, Planetary Resources, the company that I co-founded that is building private spacecraft to go to near-Earth asteroids for prospecting, claiming, and eventual mining. We've gotten a group of some 13 different billionaires to back us to build spacecraft that can go out to these asteroids. Again, the low-hanging fruit of the solar system, as I call it. Asteroids that come close to the Earth that are rich in hydrogen and oxygen, rocket fuel, nickel and iron construction materials, and platinum group metals. Basically, these are trillion-dollar assets, the Manhattan Island, so to speak, of space that come close to the Earth that we can in fact begin to extract resources from to create a very vibrant economy in the Earth, Moon, and surrounding solar system. I mean, when I think about it, you know, the first trillionaires will be made in space. Everything we hold of value on Earth, metals, minerals, energy, real estate, are near infinite quantities in space. The Earth is a crumb in a supermarket filled with resources. At the same time, we've got, you know, Virgin Galactic getting ready to begin its suborbital flights into space. And just this past week, I was in Hawthorne at SpaceX headquarters, sitting in the Dragon 2 capsule with Elon, amazed by this extraordinary piece of technology that a dedicated team of individuals have created. And, you know, Dragon 2, as you well know, is going to be taking 7 people to low Earth orbit, to the space station, and can take a group to the moon, eventually landing on the surface of Mars. I was interviewing Elon at an event just a few months ago, and I asked him, when are we going to be doing private missions to Mars, and how much will it cost? His answer, within 15 years for $500,000 round trip. So in terms of creating human spaceflight, in terms of creating an economy of space, there's no more exciting time ever to be an entrepreneur and make this stuff happen. So no matter what angle you come, whether you're part of a government space agency, your money will go further. If you're part of a scientist in a research program, you'll have access to new capabilities. If you're an entrepreneur who wants to create wealth and capabilities in space, the tools are here. So I wish you an extraordinary time this summer. I look forward to meeting you all and to creating an abundant and vibrant future for humanity in space. Have an amazing day.
That's Peter, who is a true visionary, and talking about inspiration, as Walter was mentioning. I mean, you get nobody better, really, than Peter. And we're very proud, in this institution, to have Peter as one of the founders, and comes and sees us often. I'm not sure he'll make it this summer, but stick around with ISU, and you'll be around with Peter at some point. So let me wrap up. It's been a longish evening, but let me first of all reiterate my thanks, our thanks to ICAO, the City of Montreal, our 2 amazing host universities, ETS and HEC Montréal, the Canadian Space Agency, and the many sponsors of this session, and of course the numerous faculty, lecturers, teaching associates, and staff who will deliver and guide the program. For those of you who like statistics, we will probably bring in about 150 specialists this summer to teach our 120 participants, and where we have another 40 professionals, the staff and the TAs, who in their own right have great stories to tell and backgrounds and experiences to share. So this is a family this summer of something of the order of 300 people in that range. It's quite remarkable. For those of you who live in Montreal, come back and see us often. There will be many events open to the public, and I can guarantee that each one will fascinate, educate, and inspire you. Thank you once more to all of our speakers, and with this I declare the 2014 ISU Space Studies program officially open, and invite you all to exit the Assembly Hall at the back and join us in a reception hosted through the generosity of the sponsors, by the local organizing committee, and by ICAO. Merci beaucoup. Thank you all for attending.